Oh, I'm the Cringe Critic. I read it so you don't have to. It's finally time to end Frisky characters. Yes! Yes! The last 2 chapters for Frisky characters. My belt broke. I don't know why. It's been doing this for fucking weeks. Oh god, just stay on. So, got my alcohol. Ugh. Let's finish this piece of fucking shit. Chapter 5, Bad Time. Before I gotta make yep, okay, I had to make sure. God, this one's so long. Chapter 5, Bad Time. After hours of BDS fun for Chara, the two finally fall asleep for the night. Knowing this nightmare will just repeat no matter what she lets it be, she knows she can't hide from it. It happened 10 years ago. Monsters finally became citizens of the overworld, and it was all thanks to Frisk and Chara. Realizing what the problem of all their mistakes was, they decided to destroy the reset button. It freed them of ever going into the infinite loop once more. The two girls were gleefully hugging every monster for their freedom. Excuse me. After months of living in the human world once more, Frisk and Char kept on convincing the AMA that monsters and humans can live together. Many meetings occurred. Once every week, the jury would be torn on who they should believe. Neither group gained the upper hand. It was after the 5th month where everything took a dark turn. It was really nice to see you all. My name is Asgore Dreamer, owner of Flower Dreamers, former king of the monsters. You humans may look at all the flowers you want. The king introduced himself. Oh, and if you are rude to any other customers, my family or myself, I'll have to ask you to leave the premises. Business was booming. It was the grand opening of Flower Dreamers, and soon to be the grand closing. Many flowers were being sold, and almost everything was out of stock in an instant. No one wanted to be kicked out of such a lovely store. First, Char, Tori, and Flowey, with an actual soul, so he had some feelings and remorse. All helped Asgore out. It was nearing 9 p.m., and Asgore knew it was time to close shop. Alright, humans, I am sorry to say, but it is the time we must close down. We thank you all for coming, and we must bid you farewell, Asgore said. What he didn't know is that one human didn't leave, so Asgore decided to kindly approach the woman. Excuse me, ma'am, but I must ask you to leave. Without saying a word, the woman pulls out a weapon on Asgore and injures him fatally in one shot. With instincts, Char and Frisk grabbed the woman's arms and threw her to the ground. It was then to be revealed that Sarah Brown, the CEO of the Anti-Monster Association, was under the hood. She laid on the ground, creating a sinister smile. Asgore! Flower and Toy cried out. They both went over to Asgore, but were too late. Asgore soon disappeared into a pool of dust. Dad, no. 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 No! Please no! Char cried out loud. The Dreamers would then exact revenge on Sarah in the most pacifist way possible. Sarah Brown, admitting guilty to the crime she partook, was sentenced to life in prison without parole. The AMA was soon shut down. Char woke up without gasping for air to the nightmare. She believes she has gotten used to it by now. She looks around the room to find Frisky dressed in a shirt and panties. Char got up and kissed Frisk on the cheek. Morning, how did you like being dominated last night? For the love of God! Morning, how'd you like being dominated last night? Char asked. God, Char, you really know how to line up someone's lewd mind. It was fun, mainly the part where you stuck 3 dildos inside of us. God, that would usually hurt someone, she replied. You're aware of what day it is today, right? Yeah, I do. Can't believe it has been 10 years since that day now. Sarah didn't deserve life in prison. She deserved death, but even I couldn't stand up to say that. Don't worry, Char. Asgore is in a better place. Come on, let's go call Flower and Tori to see how they're holding up with the remodeling of the flower shop. Frisk and Char attempted to call Flower and Tori on the phone, but the internet went out, making it impossible to contact anyone using their perseverance. The two girls decide to fix the internet and restart the power. Frisk notices that Char isn't feeling too well. Char, are you okay? You look like you're sick. Frisk asks, worried. Char didn't answer. Char, come on, let's go inside. Char still didn't answer and looks as if she's going to pass out. Char! Char falls over and takes a bad blow to the back of the head by a rock. Knowing that Char is in grave danger, Frisk carries Char into the car and drives off to the closest hospital. Running through stop sign and red lights, she didn't care as long as Char is safe. In 5 minutes, Frisk arrives at Gallflower Hospital and gets Char checked in. The nurses rush Char into the emergency room, and all Frisk can do is wait. Hours go by, then a couple days, and there's still no information that was given to Frisk at the time. And at the end of the week, kind of zoned out for a moment there. At the end of the week, one of the nurses calls Frisk to the door. So, what happened to Miss Char Dreamer is that she had a reaction to some flowers that were near. The nurse's voice fades out. Frisk knew what happened. Char might have eaten the buttercups near their house. Can I see her? Please, Frisk exclaims. Fine, you can, but I'll let you know she cannot be woken up. She's in critical condition. The reaction to the flowers and the supposed rock has given her a concussion and put her into a coma. The supposed rock? That's kind of fucked up. Whatever. The nurse showed Frisk the way to Char's room. A rapid heartbeat was beeping through the heart monitor, and Frisk had oxygen. And Char had oxygen going through her nose from the tubes. Why didn't you tell me, Char? Why didn't you tell me you're sick? Frisk asks. She begins crying, but a hand touches her cheek. It was neither Char's nor the nurse's, but a bony hand. I'm pretty sure bony is spelled B-O-N-E-Y. Kid, I just want to let you know that we heard what happened, Sans said out of nowhere. Tori got a call from the hospital, and we got here as fast as we could. God damn it, Char, if you die on Frisk now, I'll never forgive you. I mean, you two are supposed to marry. Behind Sans were four other figures. Tori, Flowey, Papyrus, and Metaton, who had a TV on his chest showing Undyne and Atlas. I played this fucking game, so I don't know how to pronounce those names. Well, all there for Char. They came so Char didn't have to be alone. Hey, Pap, two things. One, you need to be quiet because we're in a hospital. And two, magic time. Hey, Smiley trash bag. Sure, magic could help, but with buttercups involved, it'd be best for the saline to work its magic. Flowey informed Sans. I must agree with Flowey. Healing magic isn't always the best way to, dilute particles inside a body, Atlas explained. Oh my, and I was very excited for these two. I mean, I want no more tragedies for these two lovebirds. Metaton cried, albeit he is a robot. Damn it, Red Eyes, you better fight against the stupid flowers, Undyne yelled out. It was not a good idea for her to be called into this. Both Tori and Papyrus stayed quiet because they were both worried for Chara. They didn't know what to do. We should, go back to your place, Frisk. We should, go back to your place, Frisk. Char should get a rest now. She'll be better, and I promise that, although I hate making those. Sans, Papyrus, Tori, Undyne, Atlas, Metaton, Flowey, and most of all, Frisk are filled with worry and fear. The last chapter, thank you, Jesus. And it's rightfully called The End. Chapter 6, The End. It took weeks until an update on Char was sent to everyone. Frisk and Co. went to the hospital to be given great news. Char's body has successfully diluted the poison of the buttercups out of her body, yet one question still stood. Char, did you eat some of the buttercups again? Frisk asked. She was concerned for Char and wanted to know the reason. I won't hate you if you say yes. I actually didn't eat any buttercups, or maybe I did, but I was not conscious. I don't know. I just don't remember anything of that matter, Char replied. Hearing those words allowed Frisk to relax. Well, however you got the poison in you, I'm glad you are better. The two embrace each other for a while until a familiar voice is heard. So, the bitch lived. How unfortunate. Well, I guess if you want to do something right, you gotta do it yourself, exclaimed Nikki. She pulled out a syringe full of golden liquid, but she froze in place. What the fuck? Why the hell can I not move? Sans comes out of a corner. Excuse me. Now I see why you seemed troubled back then, kid. It's because of Nikki, wasn't it? He sighs. Well, Nikki, as Frisk told you back at the falls, you really want to have a bad time. Why don't you and I go outside for a bit? Oh, don't worry. It won't be just us two. I called in some cops to help us socialize. Sans walks away while still using his gravity magic. Frisk and Char could still hear Nikki's screams until the big door closed. Assuming she gave you the poison, Frisk says, confused. Well, I guess she's gonna have a bad time in jail. Char wanted to be in Frisk's embrace even longer, but knew that the papers for her discharge from the hospital would happen soon. She got up and got dressed in pajamas that were brought in earlier. She loved the smell of the fresh air, reminding her of many memories, some good, some bad, but memories that she cherished nonetheless. Last week, I thought I was going to lose you. 10 years after he died, and then losing you too, I would have just lost it. Frisk wipes the tears from her eyes. Let's plan the wedding, shall we? 1.5 years later. Frisk's time. I'm really worried. Like, what if something goes wrong during the wedding? Frisk claimed it was the wedding day and she didn't want to make it look bad. Kid, calm down. You wouldn't want to worry Char either. Besides, the saviors of the monsters getting married, that is something everyone will appreciate. Sans said in response. Here's the best man for Frisk, Papyrus, and Mettaton being with him. Frisk decided to be the groom of the couple. I, the great Papyrus, definitely agree with my brother. Obviously, you should be calm. I, the great Papyrus, definitely agree with my brother. Obviously, you should be calm and try not to be worried in the slightest. Papyrus yelled as per usual. Darling, if this were on live television, you would make a fool of yourself. But don't you worry, honey. I made sure you're looking absolutely fabulous. Mettaton said in his most glamorous robotic voice. Good thing I said it the way I did it. Char's time. Okay, it's a wedding day. I'm perfectly calm. I am not perfectly calm! God, if something goes wrong, I'll be so embarrassed, Char yelled. She was taking the part of the bride. She felt odd since she was more tomboyish than Frisk, but didn't want to get a weird feeling. My child, it'll be the happiest day of your life. When Asgard and I got married, we found it to be a beautiful time. Although it took us a while to actually get back together when we found you, our remarriage was also a beautiful time, Tora said, beginning to cry from happiness. Although, along with Tori were Undyne and... I was going to call him Alp. Undyne and Alp took time out of their schedules for this day, yet they were not bothered by it in the slightest. Red Eyes, you got this. You and Frisk are so compatible, nothing will stand in your ways, Undyne said, feeling pumped. Okay, I'm going to take this helmet off now. It's getting too hot. Yeah, I mean, when Undyne and I got married, we knew we would help each other a lot, even. So don't worry, Alp said. Trying to be encouraging but always acting shy. Both Frisk's and Char's time. The first to walk down the hall was Frisk, along with Sans, Papyrus, and Mettaton. Everyone could tell she was nervous. Monsters from the underground, fellow humans from the surface, came to celebrate this day, and it is to begin with the bride walking down the aisle. Chara, who was dressed in a beautiful white wedding gown, flowers and hearts imprinted, walks down the aisle. She seemed sad but happy, and Frisk knew why. Asgore was unable to see this, but Frisk still admired the beauty of Chara. The priest looked as if he had yet to arrive, but upon looking down, they saw a familiar figure standing either or before them. Flowery Dreamer, as he called himself, was the priest for the wedding. All right, let's get the shindig started, Flowery said. He was in his pot and only wearing a bow tie around his stem. He began saying the usual for the weddings, but added a few extras in, such as puns, stands off. Do you, Frisk, take Char to be your lawfully wedded wife? Frisk uttered the two words, I do. And do you, Char, take Frisk to also be your lawfully wedded wife? Char uttered the same two words, I do. Then you may now kiss. Okay, let me get out of here. I need some fertilizer. Char and Frisk then kissed to end the wedding ceremony. The crowd, bridesmaids, and groomsmen all applauded, happy for the unification of the saviors of the underworld. Of course, that was not all. 1 week later, everyone was gathered in the home of Frisk and Char. The monsters were told that the newly wedded couple had news. So, thank you guys for coming on such short notice, and you too, Mettaton and TV. Frisk said, "Oh, don't worry, darling. I'm just prepping up for the season finale, Beauties versus Gentle Beauties," he said. Obviously, we asked you to come here because, well, we're actually going to adopt a baby, Char said nervously. With that, Tori hugged Frisk and Char. My children, I am so happy for you, Tori cried. She couldn't hold back the tears in the slightest. I hope you two make the child so happy. We will, Mom. And with the ending, Frisk and Char, the two newlyweds, are filled with hope and determination. Thank you guys for putting up with my stupidity. I love you all. It is over. Whew. Cheers. God, that hell was over. But still got more stories to read. Like I said, if you people have any cringy ass fanfiction you want me to read on Wattpad, link it in the description below. As always, I've been the Cringe Critic. I read it so you don't have to. Ugh, I'm out of here.